Kadiri University is a private university located in Kadiri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kadiri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Maskumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kadiri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kadiri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kadiri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the combatant, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Health Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kadiri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get the good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, investigation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.
Kung nek kamu nih. Okay, good morning, Mr. Mahadi. Have you here?
Yeah. Good morning.
Okay, good morning,
And
Mr.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. How is your
Waalaikumsalam.
condition in Bangladesh,
Yeah.
sir? Due to the Omicron?
Sorry.
What is the condition? Yeah.
It is now it's going to down.
Oh, I
Going
see.
down.
So
Yeah, how
have
is
been increased,
there?
yeah? Have been increased for
Yes.
several.
Increase. Yeah, increase and now a bit going down.
Oh, I see. Alhamdulillah. Okay. Stay
Yeah.
safe.
How
and
about
stay
there?
safe. In Indonesia, in Kadiri, actually, this week is the second week of restricted movement. So the school closed again, and we have done. Some of us must be work from home.
See.
Yeah, but hopefully next week is come back to normal. Okay, sir. Thank you for your coming. 1 more minute, we will begin our webinar. I will ask to Dr. Altaf. Good morning, doctor. Have you been? Dr. Altaf? Dr. Aftab, have you joined? Or still waiting him from Afghanistan? Okay. Hello, Dr. Aftab. Good morning, doctor.
So,
Okay. Good morning, doctor. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear you. Good morning.
Can we start now?
I'm sorry if I'm late here. Actually,
It's okay. It's not late,
I
sir.
think we have 2.5 hour difference between Indonesia
Hours. Yeah,
and
Afghanistan.
right.
Okay. Can we start now, doctor?
Yes,
You will be the first speaker,
definitely.
and Mr. Mahadi will be second speaker, and Pak Sony third speaker. Okay, thank you, doctor, for your coming.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
So, good morning, everyone. It's
Good
really honor and privilege for us to join the Kadiri University of Indonesia, and in this pretty evening, it's really honor for us today.
Belum.
Yes, we will be
Okay,
talking.
thank you, doctor. Yeah, we can start now, doctor. Yeah, I will open this webinar. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. International webinar about cross-sectional study and its analysis will be begin. Please have a nice seat in your room, home, office, or wherever you are. Good morning from Indonesia. Honorable Dr. Lutfur Rahman Aftab, PhD, the Director of Research and Publication of Mili Institute of Higher Education, Kabul, Afghanistan. Honorable MD Mahadi Hasan, PhD from American Modern University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Honorable ER Sony Susanto, SCMT, the Lecturer of Engineering Faculty, Kadiri University. Honorable the Dean of Engineering Faculty, R. Yosef Cahyo, SCMT, M. Eng. Honorable all lecturer of Kadiri University and also student from Engineering Faculty, Kadiri University, and also all participants. Welcome to our international webinar, Cross-sectional Study and its Analysis, held by Engineering Faculty, Kadiri University. First of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Vita as the moderator today. I would like to accompany you with our three great speakers from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, and Indonesia. Before we start our agenda today, let me read the rundown of webinar. The first one is opening webinar by moderator, and then Indonesian, Afghanistan, Bangladesh national anthem, and then welcoming speech from Engineering Faculty Dean, and then introduction first speaker from Afghanistan, Dr. Aftab, and then presentation. Next question and session answer. Next second speaker from Bangladesh, Dr. Mahadi, and then presentation and question and answer session. And the third introduction from third speaker, Mr. Sony Susanto from Kadiri University. question and answer session and presentation, and the last documentation, conclusion, and closing. Well, we come to our agenda. Indonesian, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh national anthem. Give our respect to this national anthem.
আমার সোনার বাংলা, আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি, চিরদিন তোমার আকাশ, চিরদিন তোমার আকাশ, তোমার বাতাস আমার প্রাণে, ওমা আমার প্রাণে বাজায় বাঁশি সোনার বাংলা, আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি। ওমা ফাগুনে তো রামের মনে প্রাণে পাগল করে, মনে হায় হায় রে ওমা ফাগুনে তো আমের মনে প্রাণে পাগল করে, ঘ্রাণে তোর ভরা খেতে কি দেখেছি আমি কি দেখেছি মধুর হাসি সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি কি শোভা কি ছায়া গো কি স্নেহ কি মায়া গো কি আঁচল বিছায়েছ বটের মূলে নদীর কূলে কূলে মা তোর মুখের বাণী আমার কানে লাগে সুধার মতো মরি হায় হায় রে মা তোর মুখের বাণী আমার কানে লাগে সুধার মতো মা তোর বদর খানি মলিন হলে আমি নয়ন ও মা আমি নয়ন জলে ভাসি সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি
Thank you very much. Next agenda is introduction from first speaker, Dr. Lutfur Rahman Aftab, PhD. So before he present his material, allow me to introduce him and read the CV about Dr. Lutfur Rahman Aftab. Okay, Dr. Lutfur Rahman Aftab is a research expert and data analyst. He is from Mil Institute of Afghanistan, Kabul, and then he has many recent publications such as online learning tools, strategy and challenge, Institution of Kabul, Afghanistan, and then also some publication about knowledge, attitude, and practice survey about core responsibility, and then implication of Taliban recent relationship with neighboring countries and its impact of the current peace process, and then methodologies Ibn Jarir and next publication about the woman perception and worries regarding future and intended behavior of the Taliban and its impact of the future of Afghan women. Next, enough. Okay, it is a short brief biography from Dr. Lutfur Rahman Aftab, PhD, the Director of Research and Publication of Mili Institute of Higher Education, Kabul, Afghanistan. Okay, now the time for Dr. Lutfur Rahman Aftab for delivering the presentation. Morning, sir. Are you ready for that?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a really honor and a privilege for us to be part of this international webinar. And I welcome all the guests and students, and it's really a privilege for me to be among the academic personalities and the students who are currently online and they see this important presentations. To be honest, actually, it's not easy. There are scholars and doctors. It's really hard to explicate or completely explain the analysis of a cross-sectional study in 40 minutes or 1 hour or 2 hours. We all know that, but we will try to just shed light on the basic of the nature of a cross-sectional study, and particularly we will try to just enlighten a little bit about the methods of analysis of a cross-sectional study, which is not easy to be introduced or to be explained in 40 minutes, but I will try my best a little bit to. So for the first topic that I'm going to talk about is, before going directly to explain the cross-sectional study, I just want to talk about the observational and experimental research, because cross-sectional study is actually a type of observational study. So we can simply say that observational study actually simply observe and measure a certain sample or certain variables in a certain of time. But on the other, actually observational study does not manipulate or does not bring any effect to the variables of the study. It just simply observe and measure a certain samples. But on the other hand, experimental research is focusing on the cause and effect of a phenomenon, and experimental research actually manipulate the variables and tries to bring changes to those variables and analyze the effect of one thing over another thing. For examples, we have many examples. For example, in medical, we can say that a certain medicine, for example, a certain or a new drugs for the treatment of certain medical conditions. For example, if a doctor, before proposing the medications, it needs a procedure of experiment that we are not going to talk about the procedure of conducting an experimental research, but it's just a simple example of an experimental research. So simply observational study observe and measure certain sample in a specific time. But experimental research is focusing on the cause and effect of a phenomenon. It manipulates the variables. It brings changes to those variables. This was just a short, brief introduction of observational and experimental research. We are moving directly to our main topic, which is the main focus point of our study. It is the cross-sectional study. Cross-sectional study is actually a type of observational study. In cross-sectional study, actually, let's suppose, for example, taking a picture from a certain group of people and then talking about their gender, their age, their demographic informations, and the changes that has been occurred to them. It's just like taking a picture from a group of people in a certain time. This is just a simple image of a cross-sectional study. But in research, we can say that in cross-sectional study, it involves actually looking at data from a population, a specific population at a specific point of time. This is very important for a cross-sectional study, that it involves looking at a data from a population at one specific time. And this is the difference, actually. A specific point in time actually differentiate between longitudinal study or cohort study and cross-sectional study. Because in longitudinal study, a researcher is trying to collect data repeatedly from the same objects over a time. And this is a very important point to be noted, particularly for our students. that sometimes some of the students get confused between cross-sectional and longitudinal studies. Cross-sectional study is actually looking at it collect data at a single point in a specific time. But longitudinal studies collect data repeatedly from the same object over and over. We can call it as well cohort study, and it may take years and years. A longitudinal study, but cross-sectional study in nature it takes a short time. So this was just a little bit information about cross-sectional study, that it's an observational study in nature, and it's also known as descriptive studies. And we are not manipulating variables in cross-sectional study. This is a very important point, that cross-sectional study is not talking about the cause and effect of something. It actually does not manipulate the variables that has been selected for a cross-sectional studies. So I think it's this clarification is enough for cross-sectional studies. Let me talk a little bit about the main characteristics of a cross-sectional study. So cross-sectional study actually, as I just mentioned, it takes place at a single point in time. It does not involve or manipulate any variables. It allows research to look at numerous characteristics at once. This is the benefit of a cross-sectional study, that cross-sectional study is actually looking at numbers or many characteristics of something at one time. For example, if we are going to conduct a cross-sectional study about, let's suppose about recently, for example, I just conducted a research which has not been published about women perception in Afghanistan. Regarding the Taliban, that what the Afghan woman thinks about the Taliban. For example, I have observed and looked into many characteristics of women perceptions. For example, in one single questionnaire, I asked them, how do you feel now? Are you feeling comfortable now? What do you think that the behavior of the Taliban will change in the future? If you are agree to the changes that will occur to the future behavior and intended behavior of the Taliban, what do you think that what changes will come? What changes are expected? So this is a very important and point of a cross-sectional study, that it actually look at numerous and many characteristics of something at once: age, income, gender, for example, demographic informations, and like that. Another characteristics, and it's actually advantage of a cross-sectional study, is that it support and make ways for further research and experiments. We said before that cross-sectional study actually, it's not talking about cause and effects, but it actually make ways for further research. It pave ways for further. It just give us green signals about a certain diseases, for example. It actually does not offer solution to a disease or to a phenomenon, but it actually gives directions that something has happened like this and something will happen like this, so you have to be careful about that. For example, let me say again the same example as I just said about women perceptions. Actually, my study is not going to solve women's problems and worries here in Afghanistan, but it will just give us a green signals and a direction that women has this problem, and the government, the international communities should care about that. This is the main advantage of cross-sectional studies. Another characteristics of cross-sectional study is it is inexpensive. For example, you just simply specify your problem, and then you are directly going to design a protocol for that, and you are going to develop a questionnaire and then go for your data collections. You don't need to bring to go to an advanced lab, or you don't need to bring different solutions and conduct many experiments, making different hypotheses, and then you're checking that those hypotheses, whether it's working or not. You don't need to follow those complex procedures for a cross-sectional study. That's why it's inexpensive. Other characteristics of a cross-sectional study, we can say, is it takes less time. It takes less time. It's not like an experimental research. Experimental research is also, actually, it doesn't take much time. A longitudinal cohort study, for example, if you're conducting, it will take years when you are following a patient over and over for years in the changes that appear. So, and it's easy to conduct. It's as well a characteristics of a cross-sectional study, that it's easy to be conducted, as I just mentioned. So cross-sectional study has its advantages and characteristics, that it takes place a single time. It doesn't involve the manipulation of variables. It allows researchers to look at numerous characteristics at once: age, income, gender, or other characteristics in cross-sectional study also make ways for further researches. As I just explained, and it takes less time, it's inexpensive, and it's easy to be conducted. So, and then we have in our presentations key difference between a cross-sectional study and longitudinal studies. I just mentioned it. I'm not going to talk about that further because we have some important data here to talk about that. But simply we can say that cross-sectional study, as I just said, it is taking place at a single time from a population at one specific point in time. But longitudinal study is actually we are collecting data repeatedly from the same objective, from the same subjects over and over, again and again. I hope it's not boring at all. So we have steps of conducting a cross-sectional study. This is a very important part of our presentations. I request, if there are students, I request them to pay special attention to this part of our presentations. The first step for us is to specify our problem, what we are supposed to do, what we are going to do, what problem do we have, what are the complications that we are going to solve through our cross-sectional study. For example, I was supposed to conduct a cross-sectional study regarding women perceptions towards Taliban's future behaviors. Women in Afghanistan had many worries. They were thinking that the behavior of the Taliban will change in the future. if international community recognize Taliban as a political body, then their behavior, their current behavior will change. This was actually a problem that I was supposed to conduct a study. So the first step is to specify the problem of your research. Second, the second step, which is very important, it's developing the proposal or protocol of your study. If you are conducting a standard or academic cross-sectional if you're conducting a standard in academic cross-sectional study, you have to develop a proposal for that. You can submit the proposal, because actually proposal is something that you are getting the approval of your research. For example, every country have an IRB, institutional review board. Some universities have that, and some ministries have. For health, for example, we have IRB. So you are writing everything regarding your research and your proposal to obtain the approval of your government, to obtain the approval of your institutions, your universities. Let me just simply talk about the main component of an academic proposals. I'm not going to talk in details because we have a little, we have only 45 minutes. Oh, that's not enough really. So the first part of your proposal should be introduction and rationale of your study. You have to convince the reader or someone who are going to give you the approval for your research. You have to convince them. You have to introduce your research and explain the rationale of your study for them. And then you are going to specify your overall goal, and then your specific objectives should be there. Then you have scope of evaluations there. Then methodology have to be specific. Your methodology have to be very clear that how you are going to conduct your your study, in the nature of your study, whether it's a descriptive cross-sectional study or how the study will be conducted, how your selection for data collection is, whether you are going to select randomly from where you are going to collect your data. So this is your methodology have to be very your methodology has to be very specific. Then you have sample size calculation. In data calculations, you must completely and clearly clarify your sample size calculations in data calculation for your study, and say, like, you can say that for a precise result, I have to design a comprehensive questionnaire for that, and I'm going to collect the data from a specific educational institutions based where that is based on. And you have to be very clear in your sample size calculations. For example, if you are collecting your data from female, you have to specify that I'm going to collect my data from female of the specific region, or if you are going to collect your data only from educated females of a country or a region, or from a specific district, you have to be very clear in your sample size in data collections. And then we have analysis and report writing. That is a very important part of your cross-sectional study. For example, I mostly when I'm conducting cross-sectional study. For example, sorry for the interruptions. Actually, I'm in my office today. So, for data analysis and report writing, for example, I mostly collect data in hard copies in in-person questionnaires, that I will talk about that later. And then we enter the data to online Kobo toolbox, which is an important tools. And the students and lecturer can use that. It's very interesting. And then we analyze the data. Mostly here we use Stata, which is a very friendly applications to calculate the proportions, ratios, and preparing different types of graphs and table for a better visualizations of the data. So your proposal also should have you should talk about your quality assurance and how you are going to carry out back checks and spots checks to ensure data quality. And then your protocol or proposal must have ethical considerations. And as I mentioned before, that for ethical considerations, you have to be very careful. For example, you must obtain the institutional review board of an institutions, or from any health ministry if you are conducting a health research, because you have to be very careful that some personal information in cross-sectional studies are safe, and you're not going to spread or to give this data to any third party or someone which is not consented. Okay, so this was just a simple introduction to a protocol of the study, which contains introduction. I'm going to repeat that graphically: introduction and rationale of the study, overall goal, specific objectives, scope of evaluations, methodology, sample size calculation in data collections, and analysis and report writing, quality assurance, and ethical consideration. You all have one thing which I missed. It is work plan. You need to share your work plan also in your protocol of your cross-sectional studies. So I hope it's clear to hear. We are okay. So we are after designing and developing a proposal, you are going to design your questionnaire, which is very, very important for a cross-sectional studies, because questionnaire is actually something that you are going to write your manuscript later based on this data. Questionnaire actually is something that collect raw data for your research and for your studies. And we have main two types of questionnaire in research, which is structured questionnaires and unstructured questionnaires with and I'm not going to talk about in details about the structure and unstructures, but simply we can say that these two types of questionnaires, which is mostly structure, we use for quantitative data. In unstructured questionnaires, we mostly design that questionnaires, unstructured questionnaires, for our qualitative data, for open-ended questions. We leave for our respondents to answer. And questionnaires, we have these two types of questionnaires. In fourth step for conducting a cross-sectional study is data collections. Oh, this is very interesting. So we are collecting our data through the design questionnaires that we have already designed and developed in our third step of our cross-sectional studies. So we can either collect, we have many ways for collecting data. For example, you can either design in-person questionnaire, you can design in-person questionnaire, and you can go to the offices, homes of the people, even in cities, wherever you find the gatherings of the people. Your targeted population, this is important. You are not going to collect data from anyone's. For example, your target has to be specific, that whether I'm going to collect data from students, from teachers, whether I'm going to collect data from females, from male, from certain districts, or from a whole country. You have to go directly to your targeted populations. So we are collecting data whether through our in-person questionnaires. In-person questionnaires, you can say that in-house questionnaire, you can call that in-house questionnaires. You are supposed to go to the offices of the people. If you are collecting data from students, you are going directly to the classes of the students, and you are distributing the questionnaires among the students, and you are collecting back the questionnaires. And you also can collect your data through telephone. We can call that telephone questionnaire. You are, for example, this method is very common in different parts of the world during COVID-19. You cannot go to the office of the people. You just simply taking your telephones and collect the numbers of either your students or whatever you are going to do. So you are calling people, and you are simply ask the questions that you have enlisted in your questionnaires through telephones. You also can collect your data through mails. You just simply send your questionnaires through mail computer to different people, and they inputs their questions there. You're collecting data. You even can send through post. You just simply print your questionnaires and you put it inside an envelope, and you just send it to the targeted respondents that you have selected for your cross-sectional studies. And for data collections, I have to say that I'm just sharing my own experience with you. For data collections, we mostly here, but in many countries, even I have friends in Canada, in America, they mostly collect data in hard copies, for example, and then they enter the data to into online Kobo toolbox that I will share the link of the Kobo toolbox if some friends are not used to that, or they don't know about that. It's a very friendly online humanitarian websites that you just simply enter your hard data from your questionnaires into the Kobo toolbox. You just simply design a questionnaire, an electronic or digital questionnaire in Kobo toolbox. I will make, inshallah, a short video of that, how to make a digital questionnaire online in Kobo toolbox. So you simply enter the data into the Kobo toolbox, and then you can download it in an Excel spreadsheet, that data, for further analysis. So we are in step number 4 of a cross-sectional study. You specify the problem, you developed your proposals, you designed your questionnaire, you collected your data, and you are here, you entered your data into the Kobo toolbox online. Okay, so we are here. We have raw data here. We have raw data in our hands. So we are going to download the data from Kobo toolbox. It's free. So now you have raw data in your Excel spreadsheet in your laptop. So the next step is data cleaning in data management, which is also a very important step. So we are still far from our analysis, but we are almost near to that. So we are going to clean our data. We have many softwares for that, but I recommend for our students, Excel is an easy software. EP is also another data management tool. Excel is for our student and for simple projects like their bachelor projects or even some master projects when they are conducting some surveys, some research. Excel is good for cleaning data. You can use different formulas like CONTEF or CONTI. For example, you have many some other family formulas and functions here in Excel, so you can use them. I'm not talking about that here, but I may, inshallah, present for our students. If you're going to keep up like this, I will present, inshallah, another either tutorial or a simple presentations of data management or data cleaning, which is very hard. As I said in the beginning, that data analysis is not something easy. It has its own complications in steps that is not easy to be explained only in 40-45 minutes. So data cleaning in data management is very important for further analysis, because you're supposed to run your analysis and your data has to be clean, well managed. There should not be empty cells. There should be very you must have a well set of your raw data before running an analysis. So the next step is data analysis, the most complicated part of a cross-sectional study, in the most the part which needs a special skill is data analysis. But don't worry, data analysis, there are many softwares for data analysis. Again, the softwares I use is Strata, Species, and Excel. I again recommend our students for a simple projects, their coursework projects, your bachelor projects. But Excel is very friendly if you don't have much knowledge about species and Strata, which needs a little bit certain skills of coding, some edit, browse, for example, tabulations or something like that. So Excel is good for our students to use different formulas for mean, median, and or for example, some averages, percentages, and some analysis of some certain categorical data. You can even I will talk about that inshallah if we were alive and in our next presentations. We will try inshallah to make such types of presentations for our students, particularly for the students of engineering, which they must conduct such types of researches. So for so sorry for interruptions. Let me. So for analysis, as I just said that I'm using Strata, Species, and Excel for a simple surveys, for example, among the students, and for some very small issues here in our university. We mostly make analysis to we conduct such sort of analysis in Excel. It's very basics, Okay, so but Stata in SPSS is advanced and it's very friendly. Stata is much more friendly than SPSS because I was using before SPSS, but currently it's Stata is my favorite friend. That's very nice. So when you're completing your analysis, the main then you're writing your final manuscript. Okay, so some scholar researchers but many researchers think that data analysis and manuscript writing is something combined, that when you're running your data analysis, you're writing actually your manuscript. But I have just separated manuscript from data analysis. Why? In data analysis, we are extracting charts, graphs, and for better visualizations, we are making tables from our raw data. But in manuscript, we are almost finalizing our research. You are writing conclusions, you are writing your recommendations, suggestions, and something like that. So this was the main steps of conducting a cross-sectional study, specifying the problem of our research, what we are going to solve, what we are going to detect, what we are going to find out. And secondly, developing a proposal. Third, designing our questionnaire. Data collections is our fourth part, and then data cleaning and data management, and then we have data analysis, and then writing the final manuscript. These are the steps that you may not find in books, because scholars and researchers have explained these things in details, and they have talked about that in details. And they separated some from others, and they just made it a little bit complicated. Actually, these are the steps that I have placed and I have written for the students, and for better clarity, this is a very basic steps of conducting a cross-sectional study. So I have a very short sample of sorry,
sir, 5 more minutes for your presentation.
Oh, so I have 5 minutes more.
Yeah, and after that, there are many questions for you from the students.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, I had a simple raw data project, and I wanted to just simply run a very short analysis instead of, for example, I have some categorical data to run some commands of tabulation and some other. Anyway, we have other scholars here, and they may talk about that in details. Or Stata is something that we will talk about that in details in the futures. But we have some precautions before running an analysis. I'm just talking in these the precautions that we have to follow before running an analysis in these 4 minutes. So actually, the first thing that we have to do before running an analysis is erasing unnecessary data. We have to erase unnecessary data from our data sets. If we have Excel spreadsheet or data in Excel spreadsheets, so we have to erase unnecessary data. We have to clean the data. If we have empty cells, we need to check that out through different commands and formulas that we have in Excel. We can detect and find those empty cells very easily. Okay, so second precaution is never run your analysis on an original copy. You have to keep your master copy of raw data separately. Just make a copy of your master data, and just when you are trying to run your analysis, you have to make a copy of your master copy. you just store your original copy of your data and make a copy of that, and then try the analysis over the copy, not the original data. This is very important, that you may lose your data, or you may mess up the data, which is not good for you. You have to keep your original data. Third precaution, which is also important, is select an appropriate software for your analysis. There are many softwares. I request our lecturers and students that to work on that, to investigate more and more about the software that has been used recently by the universities of Harvard in Pennsylvania. I have friends there, and then we have some friends in Toronto, that in Canada. They use different tools for and softwares for data analysis. So you have to select an appropriate software which is good, suitable for your data analysis. This will save your time, and it will actually save your time and energy, and you should not be worried about the application of the softwares, because some softwares needs extra skills, the coding skills, which is not easy for everyone, but it just needs special experts. We have teachers here, they know better that the coding, and it needs its own professional people to run those types of data. So I wanted to I had a raw data here. I wanted to run an analysis instead, or simple analysis in Excel, but I think it's hard now to do that. We will do that, inshallah, if we find any opportunity next time. And that is very important, because actually practice is something that prove what we have said theoretically, or what we were saying theoretically. So we are almost done with the basics of a cross-sectional study. Let me summarize. We talk about the observational and experimental research. Simply, we briefly differentiated between observational and experimental research, the characteristics of both studies. We also talked about the nature of a cross-sectional study, and the differentiations between the difference between longitudinal study and cross-sectional study, and some characteristics and advantages of cross-sectional studies. And then we talked in details about steps of a cross-sectional study, which is specifying the problem, developing our proposals, designing a questionnaires. A comprehensive questionnaire is very important. Data collections from a targeted population, data cleaning and data management, data analysis using different softwares, and writing the final manuscripts. And then we had our precautions before running an analysis, which we have to erase unnecessary data from our data sets, and we should not run our analysis on the original copy of our data. We have to store our master copy of the data somewhere else, okay, and run our analysis on a copy of the data. And a selection of an appropriate software for our analysis is very important. So if there is any questions, I'm here to answer.
Okay, for the audience, please raise your hand to ask the question from the first presentation from Dr. Aftaf. The time is first. The audience, please raise your hand. Okay, from Francisco Indra Permana Hardianto. Okay, Francisco, the time is yours. Please ask.
Excuse me, sir. Let me introduce myself. My name is Francisco Indra Permana Ardianto. I am second semester student from engineering faculty, and I have a question for you, Mr. Aftab. The question is, are there any formal criteria to distinguish between a sample study experimental and an observational study in this research?
Okay, thank you, dear. I'm sorry about I didn't get your name correctly. I'm so Francisco. I think Francisco Andro. Thank you, Francisco. As I just explained, that observational study, brother, actually we just simply observe a sample. We just simply observe something. We are not we are not bring any changes to those actually that you are looking at something through your microscope. You are just observing something. But in experimental research, you are actually finding out the cause and effect of something. For example, let me say another example. So I'm currently working in health research, so let me give you a very simple example. So, for example, sun rays. We are going to conduct research about what effect the sun rays has over the plants. For example, if the sun rays, what effects the sun rays has over the plants? If what effects, what changes it brings to the plants. If you are conducting a research about this, you are actually conducting an experimental research. You are actually looking at the effects of something. What effects this will bring, what changes it will occur, what changes actually will occur. But in observational study, dear Francisco, we just simply observe, collect data. We are not manipulating the variables. We are not bringing any changes to the variables that has been selected for our research.
Okay, Francisco, are you happy with the answer from Mr. Alta?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm
thank
happy.
you. Next question. Still have many time for question and answer the question for Mr. Aftab. Please raise your hand. Okay, from Abdi Aziz Nurrahman. Please yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Abdi Aziz Nur Rahman. I am from Civil Engineering Studies, Kadiri University. I have question for Mr. Aftab. Is it possible for a scenario to be an experimental and an observational study in the same research? Thank you.
Is it clear, Mr. Doctor? Is it clear the question?
Dear moderator, actually the question is not clear for me. If it is the same questions we about the difference between observational and experimental research, we have already talked about that. If it's the same questions, if it's different, please clarify a little bit about it.
Okay, next question. Next question. Okay, maybe only two questions here. Oh, okay. From Mr. Jatmiko, the lecturer of Kadiri University. Okay, Mr. Jatmiko, the time is yours.
Okay, nice to see Mr. Aftab. Okay, I think I'm interested with your material about the cross-section and the observational and experimental research. And in this good chance, I would like to, I think this is not question, just a little discussion about when we use the cross-section study, automatically when we collecting the data on the variable is only once. And when we collect the data in the electronic, automatically release the quick, cheap, and easy to conduct because not too long to follow up. But I think the part when we collecting pay in the email, but it has the susceptible to payers, such as the respondent payers, the recall payers, the interview payers, and social acceptable payers. So what should we do to confirm the reader if our collecting data is valid, or we use the approach the software to make the confirm our return? I think enough, Mr. Aftab. Give me a little explain on the list the other opinion. Thank you, Mr. Aftab. I think the point is when we collecting the data in the electronic automatically it is cheaper, easy, but sustainable to payers for everything is payers. Okay, thank you, Mr. Aftab.
Yeah, thank you, Jatmiko. Dear moderator, if it is possible, please clarify a little bit what Jatmiko has recently said. Actually, I didn't get exactly what he said or what he wanted to.
Oh yeah. Okay, Mr. Jasmiko, just asking what's kind of method of collecting the data if we use the email. I mean, we mean that collecting the data by indirectly, right, Pak Jasmiko?
So I think what Jatmiko wanted was to how we can collect data for
From email.
From email. Yes, this is what. So actually, Jatmiko brother, collecting data, we talked about different methods. As we say that we are first we have to first design our questionnaire, which is very important. Then we are sending the questionnaire to the targeted populations. For example, Jatmika, if you are supposed to conduct a research or to collect data only from the students of engineering, you have to send those questionnaires directly to the students of engineering. For example, let's suppose you are going to make a survey about a CUP survey. You're just how we can say knowledge, attitude, and practice survey only from engineering students of 3 universities, Pankasakti, for example, Kadiri, or any other universities. From these 3 universities, you are supposed to design the questionnaire, and then you are going to send your questionnaire through your emails to the targeted populations. This is very important. For example, if you have planned that you are going to collect your data from 3 universities, only from engineering students, you have to send your questionnaire directly to 3 universities, and only engineering students have to respond to those questionnaires. You don't need to send that to economics students, to the students of medical, because actually you are collecting data, you are investigating about the COP knowledge, attitude, and practice of engineering students regarding COVID-19 or regarding to any other problem or any other diseases. So you are designing the questionnaire, whether an Excel sheet, Word, or online in Kobo toolbox. You're simply sending the link through your email. They are entering the data, and the data directly comes to your main ID, and you are then collecting the data. This is the method of emails. So you have almost 2 methods for your emails. First, to send your questionnaire in soft, for example, in Word copy, or you can design it in Excel and then send that questionnaire to the targeted populations. And secondly, you just make online digital questionnaire, for example, in Kobo Toolbox. You just simply send the link of that questionnaire to the targeted respondent, and they just simply online enter the data automatically comes to your ID, and you are then downloading the ID. It's very simple like that.
Okay, Pak Jatmiko, are you happy with the answer from Dr. Aftab about the collecting the data by using the email or soft copy, soft file, sorry. Is it clear enough, Pak Jatmiko? Okay, thank you. Okay, no question anymore, Dr. Altaf. Thank you for your nice presentation. And before we continue to our second presenter, forgive me because I missed one agenda today, namely welcoming speech from the Dean of Engineering Faculty. So before we go on to the second presenter, allow me to the Dean of Engineering Faculty to give the welcoming speech from this webinar today. So sorry for the missing, Pak Yu. Next, Pak Yu, the time is yours. Okay, are you ready, Pak Yu?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Rita. Honorable Dr. Lutfur Rahman Aftab, PhD, as Research and Publication Director of Mili Institute of Higher Education, Kabul, Afghanistan. Mr. MD Mahdi Hassan, PhD from Anwar Khan Modern University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. Mr. Engineer Sony Susanto, STMT, and the Kadiri University lecturer student, as well as the participants of the Kadiri University International Webinar. Good morning and best wishes for all of us. First of all, let us give thanks to the God, because with his permission, today we can meet here to join the international webinar with the theme Cross-section Study and Analysis. Kadiri University has many international collaboration with many universities, such as from Malaysia, India, East Timor, Turkey, Thailand, Brunei Darussalam, Moscow, Morocco, and of course, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. Because Kadiri University vision and mission is being internationalized in 2026. I hope the collaboration will create something good and useful to many people and can be prolonged into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I respect with this event. We hope that it can be develop our university and also can support the Kadiri University vision mission to be internationalized. Happy on join this webinar. Hopefully, what we do today will give benefit for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Yu,
Thank
for
you.
your very nice welcoming speech. And so sorry once more because I'm careless for missing this session. Okay, next session, next agenda, we turn to the second presenter, namely Mr. MD Mahdi Hassan, PhD from Anwar Khan Modern University, Bangladesh. Hello, sir. Hello, Mr. Mahadi. Can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Mahadi.
Yeah. Now I can.
Okay.
Now I
Yeah.
can hear you because
Okay.
it was mute.
Oh yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
sorry, sir. Okay. The time
No,
for
it's
you
okay.
for
Yeah.
presenting.
Can you make me co-host? Then I can share my slide and other
Okay. Yeah.
things.
But before that, I will introduce you to the audience, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, MD Mahadi Hassan from Anwarkan Modern University, Dhaka, Bangladesh. He got the education from the Doctor of Philosophy, PhD in Finance, and then also Master of Business Administration, MBA in Finance also, and then Bachelor of, and then Bachelor of Business Administration or BBA honors in Finance and Banking. But there are many work experience from him, such as the Assistant Professor of Finance, Department of Business Administration, Anwarkan Modern University, Bangladesh. Also Research Assistant on PhD Research Fellow, University Utara Malaysia, Kedah, Malaysia. Also the Senior Lecturer in Finance and Assistant Controller of Examination in Bangladesh, Green University of Bangladesh, Dhaka, Bangladesh. And then also the lecture of in finance, Green University Bangladesh, Dhaka, Bangladesh. And then the lecture in finance, Work University in Bangladesh, Dhaka, Bangladesh. He teach some subject and other responsibilities undertaken in the above position, so such as the taught and coded with the course of Fundamental of Finance, Corporate Finance, Financial Management, etc. Also design and subject curriculum and instructional research and revise them from time to time for continuous improvement and student learning outcome. And then also conducted the lecture and tutorial, and then design assessment and exam papers, deal with the method, strategic rule and regulation rather than the conduct of examination, and also to perform all the other tasks assigned by the head of department, dean of the faculty, and also the university higher management from time to time. As we know that Mr. Mahadi is the second time for joining the webinar in the Kadiri University, so it is the second time for him for participating with the webinar in Kadiri University. Okay, thank you, Mr. Mahadi. The time is here for delivering your presentation.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say thank you to this webinar moderator, Madam Bita, and thank you, Honorable Dean. Thank you, Engineer Sony, and thank you, participant, and thank you also, Dr. Aftab from Afghanistan. My name is Mahdi Hassan. You can call me Mahdi. So let me start. Let me start today's webinar. This is about cross-sectional. Can you hear me properly? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Very clear.
Okay, thank you. Before I start, I would like to say I have two parts. One is theoretical and another is practical. Theoretical means I will just talk about research and type, basic type, and then I would like to use the software. Software is here. I would like to use the startup. So before that, I would like to share my screen. I have few slides for you, and also I share with it before. So now I just off my camera so that we can hear clearly and it will be easy. Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So about me already explained, Madam Bita. So I think I should not say anything. And then what I would like to say here, accept my apology if there is any disconnection or anything else, any problem, unable. Also, if you would like to write anything, this is my email, and also here my WhatsApp. It's my WhatsApp. Also, if you have any question, you can write in the chat box. For example, I'm talking about some issue and you may not understand, or you have any query, so you just write in the chat box. Later we will check it. And then I would like to say one dialogue. Coffee never knew it would be taste and so nice and sweet. Before it meet milk and sugar. We are good as individual, but become better when we meet and blend with the right people. Why I would like to say this one? There's a reason. You know, you people are very nice and wonderful, and you are very scholar, you know many things, but you'll be better when you meet the right people. So there's in the research area, academic area, so connection is important. You need to find some people, advisor or mentor who has the knowledge about research, publication, and so on. As it is cross-sectional, before that I have some basic issue. For first, where I would like to say the first data is always input. What is data you're supposed to know, and in the output generally you can say it is a information. After processing you can get the information. And then we can say some issue, basic issue, that is data. If you talk about data, for example, 100, it is nothing, no meaning. Then we can see information, it is 100 miles, it's somewhat meaning. And then if you write like that, 100 miles is quite a far distance, so it is more meaningful. And then we can say the wisdom, that is, it is very difficult to walk 100 miles by any person, but vehicle transportation is okay. So this is the basic things about the data, information, knowledge, and the wisdom. Okay, so as we talk about the research, cross-sectional, whatever, data analysis, firstly we can see there are two types of data. We can see qualitative and quantitative. There are two types of data overall in general, qualitative data and quantitative data. So there is some basic difference we would like to mention here. One is qualitative and is quantitative. So what is qualitative data? Qualitative data is generally information. It's a information that cannot be expressed in number. Means qualitative data we cannot express in number. But in case of quantitative data, the data that we can express in the number. This is the basic difference, we can say, the initial difference. Then, can data be counted? Can data be counted? In the case of qualitative data, generally no, we cannot. But in case of the quantitative data, yes, we can count it. And if you talk about the qualitative data, there you can see here, maybe it can be in the form of the word, objective, picture, observation, and symbol. Also, we can convert in quantitative, there's a process. But in general, in the quantitative data is generally, we can see in the number. Generally, it is the number. Then again, the general type of data, generally, it's general. So if you talk about the data, we can say it can be quantitative or it can be qualitative. So what is qualitative? We have already picture, text, content, stuff, so what. In the quantitative data also, generally, we can say one is primary and another is the secondary. In the secondary data, primary data means you use the first time. Nobody used it before. For the first time, the data use. This is the primary. The secondary data means someone collect, we can use for the second time. This is the secondary data. So secondary data can be can be time series, can be time series, it can be cross-sectional, and it can be panel. Panel means longitudinal data. Also, the primary data also is cross-sectional. The primary data is one kind of cross-sectional. So cross-sectional data can be primary, can be secondary. So primary data, it means generally you can see it is on the question basis. For example, you have the question, you collect the data, and maybe it is Likert scale 1 to 5. So people can tick it. It may say here you can see agree, disagree, strongly agree, like some word, and you collected that data, and it is the primary. So cross-sectional primary data, and cross-sectional also there is secondary data. Let me explain few things. Now, talk about the time series. Time series, for example, GDP for 30 years. Indonesian country's GDP for 30 years. So it's a long time, maybe 50 years, 100 years. So it is the time series. There is one variable GDP and also the time for the 50 years. So it's the time series data. Then you can go for the, okay, before time series, what I would like to say, here we say time, there is a time, long time only for GDP, one entity, one cross section, only GDP. But if you talk about the, for example, GDP for Asian country, so only GDP for Asian country, maybe 30 Asian countries, so it's a cross sectional. And here only for the particular time, as Dr. Aftab already explained, the particular time, for the given time, specific time, a point of time, maybe 2020 for GDP for Asian country. So Asian maybe 20 countries, and that is the cross-sectional. Panel is just this one. If you add time series and cross-sectional, then we will get the panel, where you will find the many cross-section, also find the time. That is the panel. Now I would like to say, do you have any question until now? Because understanding the type of data is very important. Anybody, do you have any question?
Okay, any question from the audience? Raise your hand. Still no
Because
question,
my success, my happiness depend on you once you understand. So if you have any question, any query, please ask me. I'll be happy.
Okay, so during the presentation of from Dr. Mahadi, please raise your hand if you have any question.
Also, you can write in the Also you can write the chat box.
Oh yeah, okay. You can also write in the chat box.
Yeah. Okay. Then I can go. So we have already know about the data type. Also, the research can be qualitative and quantitative. And so today I would like to already Dr. Aftab already explained the cross-sectional. Today I also would like to explain some point of the cross-sectional and theoretical and practical. Practical means using software. And before that, I have some few points to explain. And then if you see that top quality data analysis software, and if you talk about the top quality data analysis software, as data also have quality type, so you can use NVivo, Atlas. There are so many software. So in quality data analysis, I mean here, quality data analysis software is a system that helps with the wide range of process that help in content analysis, transcription analysis, discourse analysis, coding, text interpretation, recursive abstraction, ground theory methodology, and to interpret the information so as to make informed decisions. The types of the qualitative data includes telephone interview, internet interviews, focus group discussion, email interviews or focus group, face-to-face interview, nominal groups, Delphi groups, observation notes, document collation, among others. This is the common type. So if your data is qualitative, so there is a many software, which one is available to you, which one you can use it. So there are many top software for data analysis. Generally, actually, Excel is the actually I do agree with Dr. Aftab. I feel Excel is wonderful for the beginner student. Those who are the beginner, yeah, I think everybody should be expert in the Excel, and then they can go for the other software, maybe RSS, many software, Stata, eViews, and then which strategy software to use. Actually, there are many software. Sometimes our student can be confused. We people also confused. Which one I should use? Yeah, there are many software: SPSS, SmartPLS, Amos, Stata, eViews, SAS, R, MATLAB, Python, Excel. Okay, let me explain. Which software should I use? This is my personal opinion, my understanding from my experience. And then I can say, for example, quantitative. If you research nature is qualitative. So generally NBiboo is available. So NBiboo is preferable. You can do it with R programming. Stata also can. Content analysis Stata can do. But in case of SPSS, no. N means no. They cannot. Generally, as much as I know, generally no. SmartPL is not preferable, not no. If you use no. But in the quantitative, each and every software can do, but only this one NBiboo generally is for the quality. Then if your data is primary data, it could be preferable SPSS, yes, SPSS, SmartPLS, for the structure equation modeling, Amos, structure equation modeling, which is considered also parametric, and SmartPLS is non-parametric. And also you can use, is less preference if you use by Stata. Also you can use structure equation modeling and something else. R also can, but NBiboo no. Like this for the time series, the most preferable for the generally in surrounding I see the eViews. Also you can use the Stata and the R. For the cross-sectional data, you can use SPSS. Also, if your data is primary, maybe you can use SmartPLS, Amos. Also, you can use eViews, Stata, R. Also, you can use, but NBiboo you cannot use because generally you cannot use because it is cross-sectional and secondary data or whatever. For the panel means it has a feature of the cross-sectional and time series both. This is the panel. Someone said longitude, whatever. So most preferable is Stata. You can use also R. You can use also eViews. Like this for the moderation effect, mediation effect, big data. So there is this one. Also this slide is available, Madam Bita, if you want. So maybe you can collect from him. Also you can email me. I will share this slide and then you can see it. Then today I would like to show some basic analysis using cross-sectional data, Stata. So if you talk about the Stata, what is that? Stata is a powerful statistical software that can enable users to analyze what I would like to analyze, manage, and produce graphical visualization of data. It is primarily used for the researcher here in the area of the primary data. Also means primary data you can use questionnaire and survey, whatever you have you can use here. Also for the secondary data you can use here, no problem. You can use for the time series, cross-sectional, so on. So you can use for the qualitative as well, content analysis you can use here for the. Therefore, this software is versatile and more comprehensive data analysis software compared to SPSS, PLS, reviews, MOS. So you are most welcome to this webinar, which can be boost of your confidence in academic and research careers. Then cross-sectional. Today's our main focus on cross-sectional. So what is cross-sectional? I have already explained. Dr. Aftab already explained. Now I would like to add few things more. Cross-sectional data refers to of many different individual subject, object, whatever. It's a cross-sectional at a given time, means for the particular time. Each observation belonging to a different individual. A simple explanation of cross-sectional data is the gross annual income for each of 1,000 randomly chosen household in New York City for the year 2022. So cross-sectional data are distinguished from the longitudinal data where there are multiple observations for each unit over time. So cross-sectional means for the particular time, there could be many entities. So now I would like to go into the software. In the software, using cross-sectional data, I would like to use Stata software where I would like to show basic comments, description statistics, correlation metrics, regression, and diagnostic test. If you would like to write a paper or do a research or write a report or dissertation, term paper for the bachelor or master's student, you need to write a small report where you need to show what mostly description statistics, correlation analysis, regression. These three things you need to show. If you have a data type, you need to do these three things. So I would like to show these three things here. So until now, hello, until now, do you have any question? Because I'm going to show you software. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Still here. View.
Any question? Any question from
Okay,
audience,
maybe
scholar,
the
researcher,
audience.
doctor?
Any question before Dr. Mahadi continue the presentation?
No question.
No
Okay,
question.
thank you
Yeah,
very much.
Dr.
Yeah, thank you very much. So now, let me show now software. I have opened my Stata. This is Stata software. This one. This is the view. So Stata you can perform in two ways. In the command base syntax, another also there is a, if you click here, clicking graphical interface, you can do this one. So, but I like to do in the command base, I mean syntax. So I don't know whether you have the software or not, Stata software. Also the same things you can do in the Excel, you can do in the SPSS, eViews, many software. But I like, I do agree with Dr. Aftab. Also, I'm friendly with the Stata. I'm fan of the Stata. I know the eViews, SPSS, Smart PLS, MOS, but I prefer Stata. So this is my Stata software. For example, here, now I know you can, if you have the data, cross-sectional data, so you can here file, then import your Excel. Means already Dr. Aftab explained, if you have the questionnaire, so you can collect it a hard copy, then you can put in the Excel. Also, if you have a questionnaire, if you collect through the online, I mean Google form, and automatically it will be, you will find the Excel sheet and you can input in the software. So here, if you have the data sheet in the Excel, here file, click the file, import and Excel. If the Excel form, you can Excel spreadsheet. If other form, you can do it. But here, I don't want to do this one, as I'm going to show some example. So in this data is a good side, good thing that you can easily call for the data. I need data. If you need any kind of help, you can ask the stata will help you automatically. So now, if I write the command sys use auto is the data set and clear, and I click enter, so they will show the data. So where is the data I show you they already. You can see this side. Or if I just write here for I would like to see the data, you can write browse in the short BR. They will show the data. So what is the data? This is the make. Make means car production is a brand name. Different car name is the car price. For example, car is manufactured is variable. In the upper row is a variable. It's a variable. This car is domestic. So here's the type. This is the headroom. This is the repair. This is a trunk. Or you can see here, make means make and model. Where I would like to show. Okay. This is my cross-sectional data, secondary data. You can see the here, this side. So this is the variable. I don't know whether you're supposed to know what is the variable, what is the data. This is so this is the variable. Make variable name. Price means price. MPG mileage, and repair record. Headroom. This is that about the car. Trunk, weight, length, displacement, gear ratio, etc. This is our variable name. So now what I would like to say. So we have already showed the data. So if you would like to say, just write here browse here BR. BR means browse, and you can see your data. Okay. Now if you would like to say as the first, there is many data cleaning, data management means if you have data have many missing, you can do in the Excel. Everything you can do in the Excel. First, you can collect the data in the Excel. From the Excel, you can input into Stata, means software. Stata, if you use whatever SPSS. Then, and there is some issue, the data management, data cleaning. So what you can do in the Excel. I prefer to do in the Excel. And now we can see the summary, descriptive statistics. First point. So if you write, for example, here commands, SU, summary. SU means summary. If you write this one, you will see the summary, means this is the variable name. So first the price, this is the observation. How many observations do you have? This is the mean, average value. This is the standard deviation. And this is the minimum value. This is the maximum value. So let me explain the price. If you talk about the price, so the observation is 74. The mean value is 6,165. And standard deviation is 2,949 around. And the minimum value is that 6. So this is the descriptive statistics. Why we need this one? When you would like to write a report, paper, for analysis, first you need to do the descriptive statistics. This one, and this is the descriptive statistics. And then we can go for the correlation. For it's called a pairwise correlation. You can write this comment like this one. Pairwise correlation. Then you can write the variable list. Variable. For example, I can write the price. I can write the mile, repair, headroom, whatever. Okay. Just click here. Doctor? Click here. You will see here.
Dari the question from the audience. Do you want to answer now or after you continue your
Okay,
presentation?
can. Boleh,
Oke.
boleh.
Boleh. Bapak
Boleh.
Variansyah Hasan. Halo Pak Variansyah. Masih di unmute, silakan teknisi. Oke, silakan Bapak Variansyah. Oke,
Ya,
the time
cakap
is
boleh.
yours.
Cakap boleh.
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 Boleh. Sambil dibantu, Mbak ya.
Oke.
Ya, saya sikit-sikit boleh.
Bisa bahasa Indonesia. Oke.
Indonesia boleh. Not too much.
Okay. I am practicing Variansyah lecture at Uniska Banjarmasin. 30-year-old working experience in oil company.
Oh, it's my great pleasure to meet you here. Thank you very much. Now you can continue.
Okay. Usually, a study will usually collect data, quality data, and quantitative data. In your analysis, we often time using quality data or quantified data. Question: in your opinion, how do you change data from quantitative to qualitative? From qualitative to quantitative.
Oh yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your question, and let me try myself. Okay. For quality data, if you see in the primary data, mostly in the management, marketing, customer satisfaction. So do you think if you eat the burger, the taste of burger is qualitative or quantitative? My opinion, it is the qualitative, but we can make a scale, Likert scale, maybe 1 to 5. So 1 means very what I would like to say, if I say the 1 is very dissatisfactory and 5 is very high satisfactory and 3 is moderate level. So you taste, we can taste is qualitative phenomena. Now we're going to converting the quantitative using the Likert scale. Likert scale means we can put 1 to 1 for the very less satisfactory or dissatisfactory, and 3 is moderate and 5 is satisfactory. So now you student or we eat a burger and we say, someone say number 1, it means very dissatisfactory. But now number 3 is moderate. If we talk about someone say 5, it means very satisfactory. So the quality data, now we try to convert in the quantity. Hello, sir, can you hear me?
Is it clear, Pak Variansyah?
If it is not clear, I'll try again.
Mohon tidak di unmute untuk panitia.
Maybe he's unmute. Can you help
Yeah,
me to mute?
Is it clear, Pak Variansyah?
Sebentar, saya tambah sedikit.
Yeah.
Berarti social is sustainable for qualitative data.
Sustainable.
And except for quantitative. Do you agree? Except quantitative. And social, special for research social is qualitative data.
Okay.
Do you agree?
Sorry, sir. I did not hear you clearly.
Dr. Variansyah said, do you agree with the his statement that the social scope is tend to the qualitative data and the exact, for example, like mathematics and physically, it is the scope, is it tend to the quantitative data?
Yes, I do. I'm 100% agree, but we have a scope to convert the data. I do agree with you, but we have a scope to convert quality data into quantity. We have scope. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bu Vita.
Okay, you're welcome.
So I can continue my previous step.
Okay, sir.
Not this one. Okay, so here I say we need descriptive. There are many issues in startup. There are many things. I'm just going to customize some few points so that it could be understandable our audience, our student, our scholar, and the basic things, the important thing. The first here, this is the descriptive. This is the descriptive statistics. So every thesis, every paper, every research report, every dissertation, you need to put this table in maybe different way, maybe APA style and other style. We need to follow like this one: variable name, observation, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. Okay, then, and the second step, we need to show the correlation. You're supposed to know what is the correlation. It means relation between two variables, whether it's positive or negative, this one. So let me show these things with some variable, some factor here. So this data, now I run in this data. Previous time it was only our quality or something else. Now I run in the starter. So here, okay, I can make it more small. Okay, so this is the correlation. Correlation means relationship between variable, either positive or negative. We can see some very negative, some positive, and star significance at the level of 5% significance. So we finish the correlation. Is also important to find the relationship between the two variables. Then we can go for the regression. So if you want to write the regression in the starter command, reg, that is enough. Only write the reg starter. This is the command. Write the reg, means regression, and enter, and you will find the regression relationship. So in the regression is the variable name. This is the coefficient, and this is in the coefficient. You can see either your direction is positive or negative, and is the standard error is the t value, and you need to see this one, the p value, whether p value is less than 5% or less than 10%. If the p value is less than 10%, is your variable is significance, means this variable is significance. This variable at the level of 1%. So this variable is fine and positive direction like this. Also, this variable is significance because the p value is less than 5%. So we finish. We have already finished descriptive statistics. Then this one, the descriptive statistics, this one, and then it is the correlation, the common syntax for the starter like this one, and for the regression, this one. The same things generally in the spaces we can do like this one. For example, we have an option statistics. You can see statistics, another way statistics. Then you need to summary descriptive statistics here. Click here, summary. Then you put from the variable here. For example, price, manufacturing, whatever variable you want to put. Like click, just click. Okay, I click several variable. Standard display, just okay. Where it is. Now you can see here table form like this one. This is summary. So previous time I showed the command base. Now I show the graphical interface, just clicking. So this is your table. Also this is the descriptive statistics, means summary. Then we can go for the again statistics. Then we need for the like this way you can do it. Okay, now I'm looking for the correlation. Also you can run the regression here. If you want to run the variable is price, I put here independent variable. You're supposed to know. Click here, maybe like this one. Just I put randomly. Okay, then click here. Okay, so it is the regression. So by this way, you can do your descriptive statistics correlation, regression, and other things. So now I think the basic, this is the very basic point I have discussed. There are thousand things I did not discuss, but this is most important and very crucial for each and every research student, those who would like to write a paper, would like to write a report, make a dissertation, term paper, whatever, anything else. So I think my basic point I have already discussed. Now, if you have any question, and I will repeat, and I will try to explain. I'm here to explain the question and answer. I love to listen your question. Don't hesitate.
Next question.
Don't hesitate to speak English. It's okay. Never mind. You can try yourself. Also, you can write your question in the chat box.
Okay, please ask a question. You can use your Indonesian language. Okay,
Yeah.
I will try to help.
Yeah, you
And
can
Mr.
check up.
Mahadi
Yeah, you can
also
check up
sikit-sikit
Indonesian
ya.
language.
Sikit-sikit can speak
Sikit,
Indonesian.
Ya, saya sikit-sikit Indonesia.
Sikit-sikit, ya.
Bahasa Indonesia boleh.
Okay, Mr. Jatmiko, raise the hand. Please, Mr. Jatmiko, ask the question to Mr. Mahadi.
Okay, hello. Can you hear my voice, Mr.
Yeah.
Mahadi?
Yeah,
Nice to meet you,
yeah,
Mr.
very nicely.
Mahadi.
I can hear
Okay,
you.
I think before I make the question, I want to make clear for us about the quantity data is gathered by measure accounting, and when we use qualitative data is collected by interviewing and observing. And my little question, if I want to make a research, can we make together qualitative and quantitative, sir? What's your opinion?
Yeah, boleh.
Or the
Inshallah,
spirits? No? Boleh, Bagong.
Yeah, boleh.
It's okay. It's okay,
Yeah,
Mr. Mahadi.
okay. Yeah, okay.
It's okay. Okay, good. Okay, and then it's okay when we use qualitative data and quantitative data in this research, and we can mix together. But in this pandemic area, automatically the researcher will found about the difficulty to collecting the data. So give me the opinion about wait. Give me the opinion about the adapting qualitative research during the COVID-19 era. I think the factor or considered to successful use the online when we collecting the data, when we make the research based the qualitative data. What do you think? Give me the
Sorry,
little
sir,
opinion.
could you repeat again? I was absent mind, maybe I could not hear you properly due to.
Okay, I will to make it simple, because this is the pandemic era. Era automatically when we make the research, especially for quality data, because when we collect the data in the observing or interviewing directly, but in the pandemic we can't. Yeah. So what should we do to give me the opinion or some factor to consider for successful use the online, or we use the technology to collect the data, pay the research in qualitative research? I think the factor constitute successful collecting the data.
If you talk, I mean, your question is what is the factor that is related to success online technology, is it?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. In this case, if you talk about the quality, so we need to see the content. Means we see the content analysis. You can do content analysis. So also then, if we say we can make a questionnaire, and on the basis of questionnaire, there is a lot of many questionnaire. Means questionnaire means item, many factor. So we can also do on the basis of questionnaire. It means cross-sectional data. So we can do analysis on the basis of questionnaire, no problem. Is it okay? Do you get me, or am I clear to you?
Okay. Okay, Mr. Mahdi. Maybe when I make the qualitative data and I have found it difficult, maybe I will contact you, Mr. Mahdi.
Yeah. You are welcome you're welcome anytime.
Okay.
Also,
Okay, can continue the presentation, Mr. Mahdi.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can continue.
Yeah.
15 minutes more. Yeah, 15 minutes.
Oh, I think I have enough time to talk. 15
Okay.
minutes more time.
One more question.
Mahdi, Mr.
Yeah,
Mahdi.
Sure.
I just want your opinion.
Yeah, sure.
Based your opinion, which theories method is better, qualitative or quantitative? Based your opinion.
Okay,
Which one is
thank you.
better?
Thank you very much for your question. Let me try. Actually, it's very difficult to say very early, this one the best, this one better, this one the bad. It's very difficult. We cannot say, but it depends in which area you are doing the research. Is it? For example, also it depends on the data availability, availability. But if you talk about, if you are doing the research, the economic, so maybe data is available. So it is better to do the quantity. But if you are doing some research, data is not available, means something we cannot convert into the quantity data. It is a quality, means a perception, people perception, some other issue. It is the observation issue. Then it is better to do the quality. But finally, the basic research, the genuine research is come from the quality. The original research is come from the quality.
Yep. Depend on. Yep.
Okay.
Is it okay?
Enough?
Is it okay to you?
Okay, maybe
It's
one more
okay.
question, Mr. Mahdi, from me. Actually, it is from my experience, yeah, because I don't like about the number, so I'll used to make a journal or an article or paper, something else in a qualitative way, qualitative data. So my question is, how to make the interesting of making quantitative research? How to make quantitative research is interesting for a person like me who doesn't like about the number. So what do you have some trick or tips how to make it interesting and make some people tend to choose quantitative than qualitative?
Okay, thank you very much. Actually, first of all, actually, in which area you would like to do research? Number one. Number two, if you have project, maybe your university have a project, your government have a project, so there is money, so there could have an interest. So it depends on interest, your own interest. If there is a project, if there is any obligation compulsory from your university in a specific area, or if there is any problem, any issue you need to address, you need to do further inquiry. So in this case, we can consider this point and you will find the interest. Moreover, if you want to do in the quantitative research, definitely it could be in your field. For example, if you're economics, so economic field. If you're in English, it will be in the English field. In generally social science, in English, it is generally, as much as I know, the mostly quantitative.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for your nice answer. Maybe one more question from Dr. Faryansha. The time is yours. Please ask the question.
Okay, Bu, sudah?
Sudah, ya.
The data is very necessary and really determine the result of research. Data collection theory. Can you explain what is meant by stratified data sampling? Stratified data sampling.
stratified data sampling.
Yes, because data necessary is really determined.
Okay, actually, right now, I cannot explain the stratified sampling. I need to have a look at it. Yeah, long time ago, I supposed to know. Now I could not remember. Sorry, this one I cannot give you answer right now. I need to check. Maybe I can write my email. If you have any queries, so you can write me. Then I can also my email here.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I need to check it. Now I cannot clearly explain. I know the strata sampling. This is I know.
Yes, stratified data. Yes.
Yeah, stratified data. I know. It means step different group. For example, stratified data means now we have the audience. The audience we can stratify male, either male or female. There are two groups. Then we can say the age. Maybe age is someone age is below 20, someone is 32, someone is 22, 30, someone is 32, 40. So you will stratified group, different group. So there are many approaches to do this one.
Okay. Dr. Fensa, maybe Mr. Mahdi will send the email about the explanation of your question. So,
Yeah. Also,
more detail,
for example, something if I cannot explain the properly, you are not happy. Don't hesitate. Please write me email, and I'll try to have a look it again, and I'll explain through email.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mahdi. It's a time for you.
Also, my WhatsApp, I can write my WhatsApp here. Because
okay, maybe I will also send the number of Mr. Mahdi to Mr. Fariansah. Yeah, I will send after this agenda.
Okay, you send me.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mahdi. That's very nice presentation. And next we continue to the third presenter or the last speaker from Mr. Sony. He is the engineering faculty lecturer from Kadiri University. But before he present the material, okay, thank you, sir. Before that, I will.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
I will introduce him first by reading the CV. Okay, the committee, please help me to share the CV from Mr. Sony Susanto. Okay. Thank you. Mr. Sony Susanto, STMT is the Civil Engineering lecturer of Kadiri University, Indonesia. Next. And then he got the formal education from SLTPN 4 Kota Madiun, Indonesia, and then SM Senior High School SMAN 1 Kota Madiun, Indonesia, and then Bachelor of Civil Engineering in Institut Teknologi Nasional Malang, and then Master of Civil Engineering of Institut Teknologi 10 November Surabaya, and also Engineering Profession Muhammad University Malang ongoing. And then for organization, he has many organization in Civil Engineering Student Association ITN Malang, and then also the member of the Institute of Engineering Indonesia. And then also he got some training and courses like certified of AutoCAD 2000 course, and then certificate Primavera Project Planner 3.0 in NEC, and then training ISO, training safety rescue, training hazard was in PT Benefika Jakarta, training of operator and K3 Forklift Indonesia Ministry of Manpower, and then training of basic life support in Semen Gresik Hospital, and then training of basic sea survival in PT Indonesia Pratama, and then workshop understanding and implementing ISO, workshop on Elsevier outer workshop, and then workshop FK3 construction protocol at COVID-19 pandemic, and the last training of TROCOZ 2020 Institut Teknologi Bandung. This is the glance of curriculum vitae from Mr. Sony Susanto. And the next, Mr. Sanusanta, time for you for delivering your presentation.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank Miss Vita. Honorable Mr. Dr. Lufratman Aftab, PhD, and then Honorable MD Mahadi Hasan, PhD, and then Honorable Miss Vita Pamadia, Honorable Dean of Engineering Faculty, Mr. Yosef Cahyo Stianto, and Honorable of webinar participant. Thanks for joining us. Okay, I will do share screen my presentation. Okay, I will to focus about the topic sustainable cross-sectional research risk concept using fuzzy logic. There is example in the Australia, one of the beautiful landmark green building in Australia deal with the efficiency of water material energy obtained by capturing sunlight used in lieu of electricity used using solar panel and etc. There is capture like this with the solar panel. This is a basic if we want to imagining about the practice sustainable. This like solar panel. This green building the future of construction in the Australia. I will to turn on about the video. I perhaps the all participant can to imagine how about the implementation sustainable.
As skyscrapers are rising around the world, the environmental effects of constructing and maintaining these large buildings are being taken more and more into consideration. Over the years, making buildings more environmentally friendly has become one of the top priorities. If you look around, you might find more buildings with trees, roof gardens, solar panels, and new approaches to natural light than ever before. The shift cannot be denied, and the United States, Singapore, Italy, and Australia are some of the countries leading the way in green building design. Before we go on and show you some truly interesting examples of green construction, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Top Luxury. Let us know in the comments below which of these green buildings you like the most. First off, we need to understand what green building is. It's the practice of increasing the efficiency of how buildings use energy, water, land, and materials. Doing this is aimed at reducing the effect the building has on its environment and slowing down the pace of climate change. However, a green building can be way more complex to construct, making it expensive and time-consuming. Since these buildings depend on the sun for energy, they need to be built in a place with good sunlight exposure, which may disrupt a neighborhood's layout. A great example of a green building is the award-winning One Central Park complex in Sydney, Australia, which is 117 meters high. The building itself consists of 2 residential towers, an east and a west tower, and a 6-story shopping mall at the foot of the towers, which is entirely lighted by natural sunlight. Due to a number of
This about the sustainable implementation in Australia can do reduce about the implementation about the using solar energy, water, and etc. And then in Indonesia, there is a application from the company cement in Indonesia. Is the name is Tukurit. Tukurit is to increase the risk of danger in urban. Tukurit product become a solution for water absorption from street surface and parking. Okay, this one of product sustainable to water absorption without the drainage. Okay, The background, the construction industry is one of the largest contributor of the energy consumption and is the world solid waste disposal problem. Worker activity related to construction project had been natural result will decrease. This encourage construction practice developed to make efficiency and appropriate to use natural resources. Sustainable issue, two of biggest challenge that had been defined in the prevalent literature of lack of demand and interest from client and lack of knowledge of green building. Sustainable, there is three concepts. In the first, sustainable construction project, and then number two is green building, number three is green construction. And sustainable is defined to use of solution, tool and material to reduce the long-term risk associated with the reducing resource energy consumption, product reliability, and pollution, waste management, enabling future development. This is one of the fine sustainable green building definition, yeah. Like green building definition is sustainable construction include green building and high performance building and the level company goal and towards sustainability, and using entire building design to achieve much better energy, economic, environmental performance than standard practice. In green building, there is a focus about the some element like land, material, energy, water, air, waste, and environmental management. And the product friendly building, we must to focus about the using environmental friendly building material, and there is facilitas water resource in building. There is facilitas for energy conservation, desertification, and use non-ozone depleting substance in building. And then 5, there is facilities mean and infrastructure for domestic waste management. And then there is waste sorting facility. Number 7, taking into account to health aspect of building occupant. Number 8, there is a facilities and infrastructure for sustainable site management. And there is facility infrastructure to anticipate disaster. And then this cross-sectional theory. The meaning of cross-sectional is type of research designed with the research collect data from many different individuals to one point in time, so that the research can observe variable without anyone else being able to influence them. From Noto Mocho 2002, cross-sectional is research to study dynamic correlation between risk factor and effect with the approach observation or data collection techniques and certain time. Cross-sectional research takes place at the one point in time. This is focus about the cross-sectional. And then there is a lag. If we want to use cross-sectional, like it's difficult to establish cause and effect relationship because they represent only one time measurement of measurement cause and effect. And then number 2, cross-sectional cannot to be used to analyze behavior of for uncertain period of time or establish long-term because cross-sectional is one-time measurement. Number 3 is cross-sectional snapshot time may not represent the behavior of the group as well. And then access cross-sectional is relative in expensive and less time consuming than other type of research because there is many variable, there is many expert team cannot to meet about the periodical time with the expert team. So cross-sectional is one of the right cross research. Example cross-sectional can to be used like retail, business, healthcare, education, and psychology. And then we want to use cross-sectional by physiologic. Physiologic from Dr. Lofi Aleskar Sadek introduced fuzzy theory with able to map input value to input to output value. Fuzzy theory use logic with a state the value can have rank or degree level. What I mean, this is fuzzy logic to use the change from the qualitative to quantitative. Mr. Mahdi Hasan can be explained by completely before. Why should we use fuzzy logic? Because it's very flexible and willing to accept inaccurate data and base it on natural language and etc. And then we continue, yeah. Fuzzy logic because there is many department like psychology, social science, environmental science, engineering, operation research, increase confidence, and then economic, management, medical, to send the software, automobile like Nissan car, to use fuzzy logic in the automatic transmission and R to please to save 12 until 17 gasoline. And then fuzzy logic can many complementary to use one of the program, and then I can to use a MATLAB. MATLAB, I want to open. It is a step until to step from the falsifikasi, inference, and finalisasi fuzzy logic. There is this step, yeah. There is 3 steps by fuzzy logic. In the first, open your MATLAB, and then you write with the fuzzy, and then will be viewing like this. There is like view rule viewer, and then rule editor, members and function, surface viewer, inference, and fish editor. Okay. This fuzzy logic explanation. I will to share my PPT, but I want to focus about my study case. This diversifikasi finalisasi fuzzy logic. Okay, I want to focus a case study about the sustainable cross-sectional research concept using fuzzy logic with the risk management. Case study the risk management of sustainable type of research by cross-sectional, because there is variety risk factor for sustainable contraction. For sustainable contraction, there is 3 dimension like social, economic, and environmental. Type of risk, there is variety of risk factor for sustainable contraction because there is many variable can be researched. Data collection can be used questionnaire and journal. And population sample and research respondent, the population on study with sustainable contraction project management. The sampling using not probability sampling method with the purposive sampling techniques. This example variable sustainable contraction from the some journal. I can get a gap analysis like cost using material and tool environmental friendly is expensive, and then high investor contingency until contractor agree cooperation contractor beyond their capability there, and then cooperation beyond to their ability, and then ignorant of the quality of friendly material and etc. And then like experience in operating friendly product. and then workers are not familiar with the product sustainability. Like solar panel in Australia, there is many in the worker cannot to maintain about the solar panel, because sometimes if you want to use about the product solar panel, we must to coming expert team from the foreign people. This risk analysis flow, there is a variable risk, there is economic, social risk, environmental risk, and then we found about the probability level. Probability level, we founded about the 3 impact. So this a name of sustainable construction project risk level. And then there is 3 economic, social, and environmental. Be summary and be divided 3. This is sustainable construction project risk level. There is a 3-step fuzzy logic. One of the falsification, number 2 is inference, number 3 of diversification. This reviewing about the MATLAB. If you want to use MATLAB, MATLAB be type with the fuzzy, and then be viewing like fuzzy logic, fuzzy logic like this. The fuzzy logic, we want to click edit and edit the variable, and then we can to type probability and effect, and then this like this in inference, input, inference, process. Process is the output. Output is level risiko, risk level. This understanding the risk probability like level infrequently, low, medium, little, often. There is explanation with the like often. It will almost certainly happen a few times during 3 years period, and etc. And then there is understanding input scale of economic risk impact that will occur, like very low, moderate, major disaster. Very low is explanation with the impact is very small. Disaster in the impact is very huge, etc. And then there is a explanation about the impact social, very low, medium, big, disaster. If the low, there is explanation this the medium term social impact is small and small number of people, irreparable damage or disruption to property, structure, or goods, minor violation of cultural heritage, impact minor temporary on human rights. And then there is input for environmental risk. The scale name same, very low, moderate, and then until disaster. There is a explanation with the like disaster, objective, permanent, severe impact on soil, diversity, life, ecosystem, survives, weather resort, and etc. And then this output must be defined about the maybe can be found with the interview, or maybe from the standard from ANSI, from Australia, and etc. Can many output of a risk level. This example from the Asmarataka 2014. Category high risk, moderate, and low risk. High risk is explanation the shall be a lower level of risk reduction. And then category low risk is the remedial step in possible, and etc. This case study about the falsification. Falsification is we want to about the questionnaire to expert team. So if not expert about the focus respondent, cannot include about the focus study, because there is many variable and time. We want to use cross-sectional. There's many variable. So this example with the fuzzy logic, we want to input with falsifikasi like this. If we want to asking about the one of respondent like Spanti maybe have experience 10 years until 3 years, one of kind about the question like probability, and probability will be found with the economic impact, social impact, environmental impact, and will be output favoring about the level risk. So like probability with the economic impact, we want to asking about the respondent will be ranked, maybe respondent will be choose 70 until 100 will be blocked. Double block is respondent set. Maybe in the next respondent will be choose 40 until 70%. But we must always to completely explanation why respondent choose about the n frequency, low, medium, high, extreme. So cannot to respondent with by online without interview. It cannot to filling by fuzzy logic, because fuzzy logic is must interview completely with the expert team. There is many discussion why was the respondent choose about the block, blue block in here. And then after respondent choose about the rank, example like this, 1 until 20%. Respondent 2 choose 1 until 20%. Respondent 3 choose 1 until 20 with a different blue block in here, and then average like this. So there is a focus about the probability, probability, and then effect. There is 3 effect: social, economic, and environmental. And then in the last with the output with the risk level. This falsifikasi input from the like this. So we can do input 1 until 20. In the middle, 1 and 20 is 10. Can do type like this with the explanation. Suitable with the explanation one of variable like in the probability and effect or output. This social impact, and then this environmental impact with a different viewing. This modeling output variable risk level like this. We just input in here parameter and rank. Rank in here can be to change. Maybe you want to type with 1 until 0 until 1. You can to type 0 and 1. In here I can do type with the 0 is 100 in here. This inference. Inference is rule. How can to process from the falsifikasi input? I can do modeling by journal, yeah. If you want to not make it in here, if up to you. But if you want to modeling, maybe there is a 3D, three dimension. If in here, I'm using 2 dimension with the from journal. If you want to make interview inference by interview to expert team, maybe there is modeling with a three dimension. Like this, there is example. Is probability is rare. This probability is impact. In impact, there is like social, economic, and environmental. In this probability, in there is green, yellow, and red is the risk level. If probability is rare, yeah, there is maybe 1 or 2, and economic impact very low, then rho is level. We can type about the one that is level, and maybe in here we can to type is likely. If probability is likely, and economic impact very maybe in here there is very high, so there is red risk level. And then we type in the inference with fuzzy logic in here like this, and this probability economic we want to add the rule economic, social, and environmental with the other variable, yeah, and this is output. This is a diversification. Diversification is a finality from the fuzzy logic. So if we want to type the one of respondent, use a probability 10%, and then choose a social impact 10%. So the diversification in here, there is a risk level 41.7. If we choose about the diversification with the fuzzy logic, we can type again in Excel like this, yeah. From the respondent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until 6. There is a probability economic, social, environmental. There is diversification in here, and then diversification API average in here. So there is diversification for sustainable from average 3 economic, social, environmental become the summary divided 3. So can summarize with 59.4. This is a total calculation diversification with the sustainable.
Tony, so sorry, 5 more minutes for your presentation.
Okay, yeah. This case study risk level, the finalization risk level can the risk level sequence like performance of environmental friendly product can be used in the total diversification. So the risk level performance environmental friendly product is medium 0.36 and high 0.22. If the right, maybe the right in here, there is a probability and a function. We can to use a low performance during post contraction. Level ratio medium is 1. I think medium is here 1. The conclusion is the use of cross-sectional, which refer to various risk factor for sustainable contraction, has variable, sub-variable that are quite allowed in interview. Interview, especially expert team, in reality require a short time, dense, efficient interview, not wasting time because of the short enough time of interview with a team of expert with solid activity. So primary data that include probability data in impact data, risk mitigation, obtained from respondent through questionnaire with the interaction to fill in the one of type of research that can be used in the sustainable topic. Okay, thank you, Miss Vita. There is a question.
Okay, thank you very much, Pak Sony, for your very amazing presentation. And the next, please ask a question from the audience to Pak Sony. The question, please. You can use the chat box or raise your hand to ask the question.
Madam Bitra, I would like to say thank you very much, Mr. Engineer Sony Susanto. It's wonderful. I like your topic. The topic is wonderful, wonderful
yeah.
topic, research area.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
So maybe next time, Mr. Sony Santo and Mr. Mahadi can collaborate to make very wonderful
Okay,
journal.
thank you very much, Mr.
And
Mahadi.
I'm also ready for participate in making the journal with you all.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm very like your explanation about the quantitative with many program.
Yeah,
Stata.
thank you.
Okay,
The
thank
next
you.
question, please, from the audience.
If there is no question, I want to continue about the running program.
No question.
No question.
Okay, please continue, Pak. Still 5 more minutes for your presentation.
Okay, I will do question with this MATLAB program. MATLAB program, you to open like this, and then you can type fuzzy.
Apa nih?
And then the type fuzzy like this. There is a mention, and then if you have some data, I have some data for my research, import, and then from file, and then there is a different sustainable file like economy, environmental, and social. I want to choose economical. This is economical. There is input. This is input. This process is falsifikasi. In here, there is a inference. The inference is the rule of process fuzzy logic. In the last, falsifikasi is the output risk level. If you want to put up like this, click in here, and then from the interview, one of a respondent, from here you can to type, maybe you can click in here, one variable, one parameter, 0 until there is a blue 0 until 20, and then you click in here, 10 until 33.3. If you want to change, you can like this. I can to change 5. Yeah, you can. There is change variable like this. If you want to change in the range, there is different appearance. Maybe I want to type 200. This like this. There is different 0 until 200. You want to additive variable in input from falsifikasi, you can to click additive custom no in here, but additive variable from the early appearance, additive variable you can do from input or output. If you want to additive variable input like this, there is 3 input for input from falsifikasi. If you want to additive variable for output risk level, there is change like this. And I want to apprehend about the inference. Inference is like this. You want to type about the rule of interview with my presentation. There is tabel. Yeah. Yeah, this inference. Okay, this question.
From Arifki, the student of engineering faculty will ask the question. Please, Arifki. He
Okay.
will ask the question.
Mr. Rifki.
Okay, the time is yours. Do you want to ask in chat box or by speak directly, Arifki?
Yeah, hello, sir.
Okay.
Can you hear my voice?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Sir Sonny. That I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Arif Kirahmananda from Engineering Faculty, second semester from Kadiri University. I'd like to ask you some question about fuzzy logic. What is the weakness of the fuzzy logic? Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Fuzzy logic, there is many weakness because this obtain about the focus. What is the result? Because the result is many variable and respondent is mass with the expert team with the 10 minimum 10 experience. So if we found about the respondent expert team, so we cannot do the many respondent until maybe like 100 until 1000. It cannot be complete with the fuzzy logic, because fuzzy logic is very important to observe interview with the expert team. So there is weakness fuzzy logic cannot do use of the practical time, because fuzzy logic with the cross-sectional we use one time interview with the economic and then probability, and then we asking about the economic, environmental, and etc. Like penalization with the risk output risk level. So there's many question about the variable in the fuzzy logic. So if there is weakness, this research cannot maybe we want to practical time until maybe practical one years until 10 years until 100 in the next years, in the future years, cannot with the fuzzy logic, because fuzzy logic with the cross section in one time question with the interview. Okay, Mr. Rifki, you understand about my explanation?
Are you happy, Rifki, about the explanation from Mr. Sony? Yeah, still mute. Okay, next question.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
okay,
thank you.
Thank you. Next question, maybe Tiara or someone else to ask the question. Maybe one more question. Okay, Tiara, raise your hand. Please ask the question to your lecturer, Mr. Sony Susanto. The time is yours, Tiara.
Okay, hello, Mr. Sony and everyone. Thanks for this time. My name is Tiara Sarita Sari. I'm from Engineering Faculty, Kadiri University. As previously mentioned, that one of the characteristic of fuzzy logic is very flexible. My question is why fuzzy logic is said to be very flexible? I mean, in what ways or in its application? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank about Miss Tiara. if we want to the focus about the engineering faculty, maybe like to research about the way with the concrete in the laboratorium in the our campus. In the level, there is maybe we can do feeling about the concrete. We want to feeling concrete level C40. C40 maybe in the actual implementation in a contraction in the observation cannot to strike and with the level big level 40. So we can do there is keep the ring. Maybe we want to concrete with the C concrete 40 with maybe 30 until 40, 40 until 45, and etc. And there is many to use about the fuzzy logic. Maybe you want imagine about the observation result with the 48, 48 with the respondent 1. 40 is very old, but the respondent 2 to say is not too old. You understand, Miss Tiara? With some respondent 40 to say to 40 is very old and old is different. So with the fuzzy logic, can to complete about the we use a number and become a quantitative data in the filling with the like questionnaire with rank like this. So fuzzy logic can flexible with the many variable. Miss Tiara, you understand about my explanation?
Tiara, are you happy and understand with the explanation from Mr. Sony?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Miss Vita.
Okay, you're welcome. Well, I think enough, yeah. No more questions from this webinar. Thank you, Pak Sony, for your very nice and interesting material. And I'm sure that from this seminar, the audience got something new about cross-sectional research, yeah. And hopefully, after this seminar, the participant will try to begin to write the journal by using the cross-sectional data. Okay, before we close our webinar today, may I read the conclusion from this webinar? That from the conclusion, we have from the three speakers, we have qualitative and quantitative data in research, and both of them are different. Qualitative data can be expressed in number, but quantitative can. And the data type is also different. Qualitative is in the word, object, picture, observation, and symbol, but quantitative data is in the number and statistic. Quantitative data can be divided into primary and secondary data, and the secondary data can be divided into the time series, cross-sectional, and panel. And then the definition of cross-sectional is it the type of research design in which the researcher collects the data from many different individuals at the point of in time, so that the researcher can observe the variable without anyone else being able to influence them. And then there are many steps of conducting cross-sectional data. Number one is specifying the problem, and then developing the proposal, designing questionnaire, data collection, data cleaning, and data management, and data analysis. And the last is writing the final manuscript. It is the conclusion from our wonderful and amazing webinar today. Before we close our webinar, I would like to say thank you very much for the honorable speaker from Mr. Mahadi Hassan from Bangladesh, and then also Dr. Altaf from Afghanistan, and also Mr. Sony Susanto from Kadiri University. Also for the all participants that has very active for joining this seminar. And then before we close our webinar, please turn on the camera. We will make documentation session for documentation. Yeah, please turn on the camera, and the committee, please give the counting. We will take a picture together. Okay, are you ready? Mr. Mahadi, can you turn on your camera? And then Dr. Altaf, are you still in? Oh, maybe he is not in anymore. Okay. Dr. Altaf, hello, doctor. Dr. Altaf, hello, doctor. Still unmute, maybe, Dr. Altaf. Okay. Okay, please, I will counting, and please the committee click on the best picture of us for today. Okay, are you ready? Okay, 1, 2, 3, action. One more, another slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Finish? Okay, thank you very much for the audience, for the participant. Dr. Variansa from Uniska Banjarmasin, Dr. Mahadi, and also Dr. Altaf, and then Pak Jatmiko, and all participants here. Also, the Dean of Engineering Faculty, Mr. Yosef. Thank you very much for your kindness today. Thank you very much for the all audience. Hopefully, this webinar can give us the benefit. And have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. See you and bye-bye. Kadiri University is a private university located in Kadiri, East Java, Indonesia. It is located in the west of Kadiri, near with Selamanglang Cave and Airlangga Museum. The location is also near with Mas Kumambang Hills, makes the Kadiri University be a comfortable place for studying and learning. Kadiri University has big contribution of Kadiri development. It's said by Sudanjo Supriyadi Wali Songo Kadiri Foundation since 1980. Kadiri University has passed many bachelor to fulfill the society needs in Kadiri especially and in Indonesia commonly. The graduates of Kadiri University have gotten a job in many cities and countries all over the world. Creating the competent, superior, characterless to be able to compete internationally in 2026 is the vision of Kadiri University. It is also supported by all faculties in Kadiri University. Kadiri University has academic, profession, and vocational education, namely Law Faculty, Social and Politics Faculty, Agriculture Faculty, Economics Faculty, Engineering Faculty, Science Faculty. Using student-centered learning, Kadiri University is supported by the good quality of lecturer to get the good cognitive, effective, and psychomotoric graduation to be able to compete in globalization era. Kadiri University has academic and non-academic facilities such as library, computer center, language center, ASEAN Studies Center, sports stadium, investigation gallery, mini hospital, and job placement center to make the student easier to get the job.
Mari bergabung bersama kami di Universitas Kadiri.